Hi there, Simon Atkins here. Welcome along. I'm glad you made it to my first video, and it's called How to Climb the Property Ladder as a First Home Buyer. So of course the series is Climbing the Property Ladder for First Home Buyers. That's the series of videos that I've created on the site that you're on, and once you've done this one, I hope you go and check out some of the others. But this one, as I said, is about how to climb the property ladder as a first home buyer. So I've had a lot of experience in that because I remember a long time ago when I bought my first property, and I was lucky enough to have our in-laws help us out, and I'm forever grateful for them for doing that. And we bought our first property, and subsequently over a number of years we bought strategically. So we always bought smart, we never bought emotionally. We always thought about it from an investment point of view rather than a point of view of just being emotional about the property that we bought. So we always bought something that we thought would grow in value, etc. It was never an emotional buy. So we did that because, as I say, we wanted to generate wealth, and we wanted to ultimately live in the place in our dream home. So after a number of years, we were able to go into City Beach and buy a dream property in a dream location. It actually wasn't our dream property as such, because we bought a block for $1.2 million. And I distinctly remember the stamp duty being 60 grand on that, which was actually daylight robbery, but anyway. So $1.2 million for the block. We knocked the little old brick house over after leasing that out for a couple of years, and we built an architect design house on there, a four bedroom, three bathroom property that was worth all up about 2.3 million or so at the end of the day. So we were able to do that. We didn't earn big wages. We weren't kind of dragging in money from anywhere over the years. We were always on fairly middle, I would say middle to lower wages. It was never a case of having a business that was bringing in huge amounts of cash. It just wasn't that. This was all created from just using the market to our advantage. So the reason I'm kind of doing this course, and the reason I talk about this, is because I feel that probably a lot of first home buyers have an opportunity, and the old way of doing things probably isn't the best way for most people. Some people choose to do it that way, and that's fine, but for other people that are looking for a different way, I think this can really suit you if you want to follow my footsteps and do something similar. So I'll get on with the process just to give you an idea, give you a taste of what it's like. I could go into it in quite depth, but I want to try and keep these videos as short as possible. So let's say, for example, if you go and buy your first property, and if you were buying it as a principal place of residence and you moved into it, and let's say over a number of years you had some equity of around about $100,000 in there, and this cross-hatched area here represented your mortgage of around about $400,000 or so, and the property value was $500,000, then if you wanted to upgrade your property, you're living in that now, you want to upgrade it, you can only replace that property with another property of similar value. That's really all you can do. Unless you increase the mortgage, you make it bigger, and then you could go maybe and buy a $650 property, $650,000 property or thereabouts, to be able to upgrade. Alright? So my mentor taught me many years ago, if you only buy one property, you can only ever buy a property of similar value without increasing the mortgage. Okay? So this mortgage that you're struggling to pay off with after-tax dollars, once the tax man's had his help, you're left with a certain amount of money, and then you're trying to pay this mortgage off, which is predominantly interest in the first number of years until it reaches a tipping point, maybe about halfway through your mortgage, 12 years, 15 years, something like that, and you start paying a little more principal than you do interest. Okay, so the system isn't really set up for you. Over a 25-30 year period, you'd probably end up paying for this house twice over. But my point here really isn't to tell you the negatives of owning a place of your own and living in it. It's really about trying to show you how you can invest in a property and make the market work for you. So there's a couple of boxes that this ticks. I'll just come around here, be a little bit easier. Firstly, if you bought this as an investment property, you've got a couple of people on your side. You've got a tenant paying you rent, and you've got the tax man over here. We'll put a hat on him, and he's helping you as well. So you're essentially kind of employing two people to work for you. So it's pretty cool. These guys are taking care of this property so that you don't have to. So you're using the system to your advantage, and And of course this loan here would be interest only because that's what's deductible, the interest component. Alright, I won't talk too much about that in this video, but that's what's deductible. And that means that you could then either stay living at home if that's where you are at the moment and you wanted to continue doing that, that's fine. Or if you're renting or you wanted to go out and rent, or you're currently renting, it means that you can rent in an area that you would rather live in. Because buying this property might be in an area that you can afford, but it's not an area that you want to live in, or a property that you want to live in. So you're more likely able now to go and live in an area that you'd rather be in, or maybe in a property that you'd rather be in, and you can rent that. Although you may not be able to afford to buy in that area, you can certainly rent in that area. So that gives you some flexibility, and it means that this property here now, instead of you saving, continuing to save more and more and more for a deposit that you, for a home that you actually want to live in, it means that this is helping you out with that because as this grows and it goes up in value, let's say 600k or whatever, that means that's increasing your deposit for your next property. So what you can do from here, there's 2 or 3 different options that you could do from here. My favourite option would be to continue renting as long as you could, and to leapfrog again into using the equity in this property now, because this is essentially your deposit. Loan against this property and keep it, and buy another one and just repeat this. So you've got the taxman and the tenant in there as well, and just replicate that over a period of time. Then down the track you could probably sell 2 or 3 of these properties, or just use the equity again and buy something that you would rather have to live in yourself. The other way that you might do it is you buy this off as a first one to help this support you getting a really chunky, decent sized deposit, so that this property that you buy next is then a better property that you'd rather live in, and you can then live in that. And then over time, if you then wanted to get out of that property and move into another one, maybe upgrade at that point, this can be turned into an investment. Okay, so you move into that one and this can be turned into so then you've got 2 investment properties and you're living in an upgraded house and continue to move on like that. So that's another scenario that you could do. It really depends on you, it depends on your situation, but it's certainly a way of using the market to your advantage rather than against you, because remember, every time that there's a property that's an investment, you've got the tenant and the taxman in these properties. Taxman would be in this one as well, helping you out pay for them. It would just mean, like, if you lived in this one and you had a principal and interest loan, the principal, when you move into this one, this would be changed to an investment type loan once you've moved out and you get the tenant in there. Okay, so obviously I've gone through this fairly quickly, and I want to keep these videos short, so I don't want to labour on it too much, but it's just to open your eyes to what's possible in terms of buying an investment property. I don't think there's a huge amount of information out there for people to really understand what this means for you, and I think if more first home buyers understood it, we'd probably have even more first home buyers doing it. But having said that, it's fair to say in the last 5 or 6 years, this has really been a movement towards first home buyers buying their first property as an investment, and it's mainly for the reason that it's because most first home buyers can't afford to live where they want to live, so they still get into the market, they still set up the scenario, and then they go and rent where they want to live. So if that's the scenario that you're interested in, and of course generating wealth over time and using the property market to your advantage, then this is a pretty good system to use. So look, I hope you found that helpful. If you look just below the video here, I've got a bit of an offer for you. If you just read through the blurb, it'll take you about 30 seconds. And if you're interested, click on the button at the very bottom of the page, and I would hope to see you soon. So if I don't get to see you, do check out the other videos. Hopefully there'll be something in them that helps you. And I'm sure that once you've been through them and you've seen them all, it will just open your eyes a little bit more to what's possible as a first home buyer looking to buy their first property as an investment. Okay, that's it. You're free to go, but hopefully I'll get to talk to you soon.